Welcome to Sacred Conversations. My name is Mandolo, and today's interesting title has such a plot twist to how we can learn about ourselves and get to know ourselves at depth, and to be able to have a little bit more compassion on those who are like the doubting Thomas. Everyone has been a doubting Thomas. You either are one right now or you have been one before. And when we mean that you have needed physical evidence to be able to comprehend and to believe something is true. Okay. And I would say this is also connected to one, not only the way in which we have different learning capabilities, but two, for people who astral travel and who are empaths but don't know that they are actually empaths. Empaths is basically people who are able to feel intense emotions that someone finds it difficult to be able to articulate and to feel. So empaths would sometimes take on other people's pain and feel it on their behalf. Okay. So when we look at the story of Thomas in the Bible, after Jesus' death, he resurrected, and I think it was after 3 days. He resurrected, and Thomas was the only disciple who wasn't there to see Jesus walking. And they believed it, obviously, because they were walking with him and talking with him. But when they came to tell Thomas, who wasn't physically there, he did not believe it. So his response was, I will believe it once I see it. And how often have you done that in your life, right? But like, once again, we're going to tie this into learning capabilities. So he said, I will see it. I will believe it once I see it. And then some time passes by and Jesus comes when Thomas was present. And he either asks or gets prompted to place his finger in the hole where the nail was lodged into on the cross. So what that is talking about is, as he put his finger through as evidence, that's when he was like, I believe, okay, that you are the one who was recently crucified. Okay. And then it says in the Bible too, it says, blessed are those who have not seen yet have believed. Okay. So this goes into trust. It goes into your conditioning at the same time. Now let's look at different learning capabilities. We learn in different ways. Some people can just know things by knowing them because they are tuned into a higher aspect of their being at that point in time. And then to be able to explain how they know, that's what becomes difficult. Because once you know something, specifically if you've known how to tap into your higher power with ease and you are tapped into your highest alignment, it can be challenging to explain to someone who needs evidence to prove what you know is coming from a source that's of light. So the different learning capabilities, some people need to physically see things, physically feel them. It needs to be tangible. Some people can hear things. Some people can see things, smell things, taste things, and learn about that material or that thing that is in physical manifestation a lot more easier. So it's important to now open ourselves to the fact that it's not that what you are saying is not true. It's just that what I'm also saying is true for me. And because we are looking at it from different aspects, it might not look true because you haven't invited yourself, or I haven't invited you to be able to see what I see, and vice versa. And now I'm going to share a story on how this is true. So I'm one of these people from time to time where I need the physical evidence. And I need the physical evidence when it comes to earthly language, should I say, where it's scientific language, it's technological. I need to be able to feel and hear at the same time what someone is doing. So I learn better when I can physically be in someone's presence and learning through the mannerisms of what they are discussing. I can pick that up faster than when I'm having to learn theory. Okay. So I was studying civil engineering, and the first year I was at a technical university because life. And it also linked because I am more of a practical person. So I was studying the material and its construction methods. It apparently is the most easiest thing because you are now explaining TLBs, you are now explaining cranes, you're now explaining buckets and spades and all of that construction methods and materials. Okay. And I couldn't for the life of me envision how it looked like. Like I could see it on the drawings. I could see it. But I couldn't connect what the physical thing was and how it operated. It literally, no matter how much the lecturer tried and my peers also tried to help me, friends at the time too, it just couldn't compute to, I get it, but I just don't get it because I need to see how it moves. So I learn through movement. I see things through movement, or if someone conceptualizes something for me, then I need to feel it in my body to go, oh, okay, that's what you mean. Got it, right? So I failed that subject, and then I was just like, okay, well, clearly I have to repeat it. And I did. But luckily, the connection to that time led me towards doing in-service training. Now, in-service training, whilst you are studying, you go serve in service and you go learn at a company. So whether it's through a bursary or whether it's through just you applying to do your in-service, there's a certain amount that you get, and you base that on exchange of learning to be able to help you in your theoretical course. Okay. So that's where we come with that. And when I started seeing, because then what happened was I was studying that subject at the same time whilst I was working to complete it so I can continue with the next semester. And only when I could see the different types of plants operating, then it clicked. It just clicked because my learning is movement and physically seeing and being in the presence to be able to hear what you are talking about and then connect it to what it is about. Okay. So maybe that is you too. And this is perhaps going to help you understand the different types of people and how they learn, right? I always had this thing about school with the fact that there was only one system. And for me, it felt like school was like a regurgitation center. You regurgitate information and voila, you get the A's, or supposedly you're supposed to get the A's. It should be that easy. But very rarely could it be explained and understood in a way that if there was movement involved, it would be easier, because ain't nobody got time for that, right? In schools. But thank goodness for different schools opening up to that possibility of understanding that we learn in different ways. And it's not that people are blank. It's just that we have different learning capabilities, and then we can honor those too. So, goodness, it just feels like I've been running, trying to slow down with my breathing here. I'm just looking at the time and just going, okay, whoever needs to hear this will hear this, and you will really absorb this information the way you need to. Whatever resonance is there, take it. If not, don't try make it fit, please. So I wrote down what came up here was, when you need spiritual strengthening, you will want to control the physically manifested things. So you would want to hold on to it for dear life. But here's the thing, when you're trying to control something that is evolving, that's where it becomes challenging, because now this is a head and heart conversation. This is what you've been conditioned to believe this thing is as a form of security versus what it is not, because it is getting you to a deeper state of security that is within yourself and is not relying on the physically manifested things. Okay. Then when you need physical strengthening, you need to develop self-control. So this becomes a head and heart conversation once again. We are constantly trying to draw ourselves into a coherent space and bridging that gap between the head and the heart space in all ways, when you're recalibrating the nervous system or you are rewiring your brain. So I wrote down 4 things in a sort of what do you call it? In inverted commas, negative way or low vibrational thinking, and what it can come across. So like I said earlier, you either currently a doubting Thomas right now, or you have been one before. But either or, it's something that everybody goes through, because in different types of material, like I said, for me with technology and with like the sciences, I need practical experience to be able to embody and understand certain material or concepts that are being explained to me. Okay. But here's the thing. On the sort of like lower vibrational state of things, a doubting Thomas can come across as needing external validation all the time. So what you're saying from the internals doesn't come across as being worthy. So it can feel like your truth is not enough. A doubting Thomas can come across and appear that you aren't good enough in turn. So whatever your truth is means that you aren't true. It can also come as you not being of value, that whatever your word is, it doesn't hold any value or any weight. And it's simply because if we break it down, it goes back to some people learn through physical experience and tangible learnings as well. On the positive spectrum, on the other hand, is that the physical and tangible evidence allows someone who astral travels a lot to ground them into present moment, to be able to comprehend the material or the message. So it's not to say, like, let's say you get into an example where someone wants you to validate them. There's also that aspect that because they don't know spiritually, they need to physically feel it. Okay. So sometimes you are learning new material, you need practical experience for it to land. And what happens is when you are learning more theoretical information, it can become overwhelming for some. It can also make you feel like you aren't good enough. It can also make you feel alone. And it can also make you feel like you're dumb, like you don't know what you're talking about or what you're doing, simply because this task, you don't know how to embody or articulate this knowledge into your own physical experience. Okay. So often the challenge comes with looking at someone you are struggling with as a child, even if they are older than you. Because you must understand that we are all the inner child, the wounded inner child in adult jumpsuits as you age. And until you heal, then you can reparent yourself. So you got to look at this person who might be older than you, who might be needing physical evidence as proof that what you are saying is true, as a child who wasn't paid attention to and didn't have the time taken for them to be able to feel empowered with the way in which they learn best, to be able to receive whatever material. So the thing is, you'll always hear that you can only give what you have and you can only give who you are. And whatever you were taught, you're also going to pass that down, even if your heart and head aren't having the same conversation and aren't in alignment with that same message that you think, yes, this is true. So the healing journey requires a lot of compassion, beyond the roles that we have come to play in each other's lives. It takes such deep transcendence of the ego to look at the person as a potential playmate, or a playmate who was left on the field and wasn't chosen. So it's deep spiritual work, this stuff, and it's beautiful work, and it simply takes effort, conscious effort. It doesn't have to be hard effort. It's just conscious effort, patience, slowing down so that you can absorb the information as you unravel. And this is connected to breath work, because when you start to train yourself using breath work, then you can allow other things in the mind, as things are flowing through, to gently settle. It's like filtering either through a filter system, or if you're trying to bake and you are trying to take the harder pieces of the sort of crumbed flour out so that you can have the softer flour through the sieve, coming through the sieve for your baking, right? So that's just an opportunity and a different outlook on when you find someone and it feels like they want to control you, and it feels like they only objectify you by needing physical evidence and not trusting. You must understand that you are dealing with an entity that is stuck in the roles. So whether it's your parents, whether it's your friends, your siblings, whether it's your teachers, lecturers, whatever it is, someone who is in a position to be able to advise or to be able to resonate with you heart to heart and connect in that manner, sometimes we can be blocked because of this aspect that we learn differently. So there's an opportunity for us now to be able to extend an invitation and an open hand to say, to heal from the wound of the role, and to look beyond the role and to see the person beyond the role. That to understand that you're dealing with an entity, but beyond that entity, that person is hidden there in fear, to be able to comfort them and to feel safe in that position, because now that position allows them to have a sense of authority. Okay, so I hope that was very useful. This was very useful for me. And, usually with these conversations, I go back and I'll just listen, and it just means something different at different aspects of my life. So thank you for taking the time to be able to sit and to absorb this information, and to just simply trust that what was said, I'm speaking to your soul when we have these sacred conversations. It knows, even if intellectually you might not understand certain things, it might not be for now. It might be for now, but not forever. So sending so much love to you, and please do take care in the meantime.